All right, guys, so today I'm going to be sharing with you a program that can help you get your first pull-up. So this is for people who can do precisely 0 pull-ups and want to train to get their first pull-up. Now, before you start, I recommend that you get relatively lean. So if you're carrying extra body fat, start trying to lose that. So clean up your diet and start walking or doing some cardio to kind of burn some extra calories. Get your body fat a little bit lower because lower body fat is better for doing pull-ups. So let's actually get into the program. Now, stage 1 is what I call the top hang. And the top hang is an isometric at the top of the bar or the top of the rings. And before we start, I just want to explain that I'm going to be using pull up and chin up interchangeably for this program because you can pick whatever grip you're strongest with. It doesn't matter. Okay, so just pick the grip that you're strongest with, and that's what you're going to be doing throughout this program, whether it's a pull up or chin up grip, doesn't matter. Okay, so in week 1, on the first day, you need to test your max hang. So perform 3 max hangs. So as long as you can hold yourself up at the top of this, in the top position, making sure you rest at least 5 minutes between attempts. And we're only interested in your best performance. So your best performance becomes your standard that we use to create the rest of the program with. So in days 2 through 6, you're going to be doing 3 hangs per day at around 70% of your maximum hang, of your best performance. And you're going to take at least 5 minutes rest between hangs. You can take way more than 5 minutes, okay? So you could do a hang in the morning, a hang at lunch, and a hang in the evening. That's totally fine. You need at least 5 minutes though, okay? And you're gonna do this 5 to 6 days per week. So if you did your testing on Monday, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're gonna perform 3 hangs per day. Week 2, we're gonna add an additional hang per day. So you're doing 4 hangs per day, and it's gonna be 5 to 6 days per week at 70% of your max hang with greater than 5 minutes rest between each hang. Week 3, we add an additional hang. So 5 hangs per day, 5 to 6 days per week with 70% of your max and greater than 5 minutes rest between hangs. Now, week 4, we're gonna do some testing. So on day 1, you're gonna retest your max hang. If your max hang is below 10 seconds, you're gonna repeat weeks 1 through 3. And if it's over 10 seconds, it's time to move on to stage 2. Now, something to note, if your starting max was over 10 seconds, I still want you to go through weeks 1, 2, and 3, okay? Because this extra work will help condition not only your muscles, but also your connective tissue, so it's good practice. You want that exposure to that training stress. So let's assume you got over 10 seconds in your test, and now you're ready to move on to stage 2, negatives and dead hangs. So negatives. Starting at the top, you slowly lower yourself under control from the top position to the bottom position of the pull-up, okay? Now, what you're gonna find is at a certain point during that range of motion, your muscles are gonna feel like they just wanna give out. So you might lower yourself to here, and then it's just like, you just drop straight down. You lose your ability to maintain control. This is totally normal. Now, your challenge and the goal with training these negatives is to increase your functional range of motion. So you're trying to go lower and lower every time you do a negative while maintaining that control. And over time, you'll be able to lower all the way down while maintaining control. So your prescription for stage 2. In week 1, 3 negatives per day, 5 to 6 days per week with greater than 5 minutes rest between each negative. Week 2, we add a negative, so now you're up to 4. Week 3, we add a negative, you're up to 5. Now, you're going to stay with 5 negatives per day until you build the strength to do all 5 negatives through a full range of motion. So from top to bottom, under total control, and you want to take around somewhere between 7 to 10 seconds for each negative, okay? So once you can do that, you're on to stage 3. Stage 3, partials. So partials, you're going to start at the top, lower yourself down a few inches, pull yourself up. That's a partial rep. The challenge with partials and your goal with training the partials is to increase your functional range of motion with this movement over time. So you're gonna find that as you go lower, it's harder to pull yourself back up. So each time you do this, you wanna try to get a little bit lower, pull yourself up. Next time you do a rep, maybe try to get a little bit lower, pull yourself up. So over time, you're trying to get lower and lower while still maintaining the ability to pull yourself back up to the top position. So week 1, 3 partials per day, 5 to 6 days per week with greater than 5 minutes rest between each partial. Week 2, we add a partial, so now you're up to 4 per day. And in week 3, 5 partials per day, 5 to 6 days per week with greater than 5-minute rest between partials. So you're gonna stick with the partial reps until they're no longer partial reps. And you'll be able to start from the top, down to the bottom, and pull yourself up. When you get to the point where all 5 reps are through a full range of motion, you're gonna try to do a top-down double. A top-down double, you start at the top, all the way down, up, all the way down, up, 2 reps. That's a top-down double. When you can do that, you should have the strength to walk up to a bar and pull yourself up, okay? Now, the reason you wanna be able to do a top-down double is there's a little bit of a stretch that you get at the bottom of the pull-up. And when you start at the top and you lower yourself down, you will typically be utilizing that stretch to allow yourself to perform that next repetition. So being able to do a top-down double shows that you have a surplus of strength and it's most likely sufficient to perform your repetition from a dead stop, so from the bottom to the top. Okay, so if along the way you start getting joint pain, whether in your wrist, elbows, or shoulders, take a few days off and let it recover and let it dissipate. If it keeps coming up, take more time off. You might need a week off or so, and then just pick up where you left off, okay? But this is a method that it works really, really well. Just be consistent with it, take your time, and while you're training it, try to get leaner and try to improve your body composition. And this will make it happen a lot faster, okay? If you guys have any questions, let me know. Please like the video, please subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I will see you later.